Made it
director,
anyway,
writer.
babies, because of the brew.
Today we have Titus Paar, Swedish filmmaker, writer, director, producer, and now he's a brewer of beer.
Man after
This
my own
is the
heart.
best merch I ever had for a movie. This is for my new upcoming film, Metal Dragon. We got a bunch of crazy merch. We was sending LPs and everything, but my favorite is by far Metal Dragon beer, which is so sexy. It's all in all the stores in Sweden now, so it's a bit
Right.
early for that. So
Titus, before we get into who you are, maybe you tell us the story around the first performance of the band in your new film. It's quite funny.
the first performance, that was, I mean, I've been doing movies for 20 years, but that day was the best shooting day of my existence. It was the first day, and I thought of like 2 weeks earlier that it would be so cool if this fictive band, it's about a fictive band in the 80s that were kids and they wanted to be the next Iron Maiden. But like most bands, it didn't happen. They didn't do shit. So they want to go on the last tour. But I was like, for an end credits, there's like this really cool festival, like the forest mashup, Skogsröjet in Swedish. What if we could just hijack one of their stages? So I managed to get this going like a week before it happened. It wasn't scripted or anything. It was just very spontaneous. So when we went there, we had this big caravan and a car that's painted like a dragon, and the whole caravan is a red dragon. And we're like, no one knows we're coming, but we managed to play after Wasp. So at 2 in the night, we just Wasp was supposed to be the last act, but we went on the stage next to them and like, come here now, and we just performed in front of 2,000 people, which is amazing. Best experience ever.
It's in the final cut of the film.
It's in the post credits, yeah.
So let's jump back a bit, Titus. For people who don't know who you are, maybe aren't familiar with your work, could you tell us a bit about who you are and your filmmaking journey to date?
Yeah, well, I'm a Swedish born filmmaker that grew up in the Swedish wilderness without no connections to the industry at all, with this crazy dream that I would one day be making movies in Hollywood. And everyone laughed at it, obviously, but I never did it because I know I would get there someday with a lot of hard work and dedication. So I started making movies. They were shit. I never did any education in my life. I just made a lot of movies, and eventually they became watchable. Then they became good, and then they started winning awards, and then people started making money on them. And then I got my dream come true. I was offered to direct a Steven Seagal movie. Didn't see that in the stars in Hollywood, and it made it to #1 on Netflix, which is my claim to fame. Maybe not my best movie, but definitely my most successful movie. It was watched by 40 million people worldwide, so it's pretty intense. And just kept making movies after that. That's been successful, and right now ready to release the Metal Dragon in September in the theaters.
I'm really looking forward to that. Well, you talk a lot about filmmakers not waiting for permission. So when did you stop waiting for that permission?
I've been waiting in like different sections of my life, and I noticed that it always happens when I say this is when we're doing it, and I don't have to rely on anyone else. But when it comes to millions, I sort of have to, because I don't really have millions. I have a lot of money. So like Metal Dragon, for example, I just said, because I was waiting on a new movie to that's been pushed, because that happens, when we have these Hollywood stars, and one comes on, and suddenly they drop out, and you have these investors, and suddenly the estimates of the market changes, so he drops out, or and so anything can happen, or the money doesn't come in on time, and blah blah blah, and we need to shoot this in the winter. So this movie had been like pushed a lot of times. So I was like, oh, if this is getting pushed again, fuck it, I'm just gonna sell my house and I'm gonna make this movie with my dudes and just have fun. And so it got pushed. I was like, fuck, I gotta do it now. So I just emptied my fucking bank account and I just said, guys, we're in this boat together. We're not getting paid shit, but we own it together. So everyone came to the rescue. I mean, we spend the money needed, and suddenly just everyone wanted to be in. So now we have like Sweden's half of the Sweden's acting elite and like rock stars from like the Scorpions, or Motorhead for Mickey D, and Joachim Kanz from Hammerfall, and hardcore superstar that was in Peacemaker, and all of them. They just came to the rescue, and then yeah, we just made it. So if you decide and really decide like this is where we're going, and if people drop out, fuck them. Just get someone else. Don't push because they're out. Because when you start pushing dates, that's when the whole card house crumbles. So stick to your guns. I mean, everything is gonna come in your way that says push the dates. It will work this day. It won't work that day either. It will work even worse probably. So just go with it, man. That's my.
Just gotta do it, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be crazy enough, and you gotta be business savvy enough to make it in this industry. I think if you're too crazy, you just end up doing stupid stuff, or like do something else, and just there's so many of those around. And if you're too business savvy, you end up doing nothing because your head gets in the way all the time. So you need to be like the perfect mix of crazy and business oriented.
Yeah, and I think a lot of new filmmakers forget that it's a business. It's not just about the art.
It's called the film industry, right?
Yeah, you really have to be clever about it. So do you think more filmmakers waste their time on, is it waiting for the money? Is it approval? Is it for that perfect script?
It's well, I write all my own scripts, so that's never a problem. I have like 10 scripts ready to go that I spent like 16 years writing and perfecting, and all of that. Some I wrote in 4 months, some I wrote over 4 years or even more. So for me, it's always waiting on the green light button. Like push the green light button, bring the money, bring the star. Now I have money sources, but now it's the difficult part to getting the star that's worth those money. Because then you have the little fun thing called Hollywood agents, which can be tricky. So in my own experience, the only time I got really good stars is when I ended up getting a personal relationship to them. Because then they're like, oh, do you want to do this? And when they say, yeah, this looks really cool, then I can talk to the agent, because then they're already committed. Then the price we talked about goes double sometimes, or triple even. But then the agent can't say, no, he's not interested, because I know he's interested, because I just spent 4 days talking to this guy. So that's you got to be sneaky and tricky sometimes, and agents never likes it, but who cares what they like?
Exactly.
Waiting on the money, waiting on just getting project going, that take years, and it's so frustrating. And it's so many close calls. Like I've been so close, like having $5 million deals, and having Anthony Hopkins, and having Guy Pearce, and all those, and then and you just cry, and you're like crushed up like a baby, and then you get pissed on Metal Dragon beers, and then you wake up and like, let's go again. So it's you can be a crybaby, but you can't be that more than just one day.
So it must get frustrating then at that level. You're talking to these A-listers, and they're all for the film, they're ready to partake in it, and then the agent gets involved.
Oh yeah, I mean, the agents are they're a big problem. I'm not alone in saying this, and they just really try to milk it. And one of the problems that, I mean, before you can sort of just have a good script and you can have a decent amount of money. But then the streamers came and they gave the actors so fucking much money. So now the indie guys has to like match that, and it's just ridiculous. Like John Travolta wants 5 million, but he's worth like 5.5 million. It doesn't make sense anymore. So it's really hard getting stars to indie films, and it's still also that it's so many bullshitters in indie films that doesn't have the money. So I mean, they already screwed it up before you even get in contact with them because they had like bad experience in the past.
Yeah, I think working within your limits is very important, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just knowing what you have and what you can afford to do.
Yeah, and also frustrating because the like distribution companies, the sales guys, the investors, they want to feel safe. So you might have like, I have this great TV star that people know, like, yeah, but he doesn't have the sales value, because the sales value is always determined on like the lowest point and that the film will be shit. So they're always very like sober and low, because this is like the lowest what we can expect. I mean, I had like estimates be like 200 and whoop, okay, one territory in the US was sold for 1.2 million when they said like, oh, it's going to be world sales of 200,000. So I mean, they just guessing, man, and they're always undercutting a lot. So if you make a cool fucking film, you will exceed them. But the tricky part is trying to make the investors and the people with the money and all that, the experience of selling and stuff, confident that you're gonna pull it off with this person that may not be worth this much for the budget and stuff. So that's a tricky dance, because they all want Tom Cruise, but they want to pay like 500,000 for him as well. So who doesn't? I mean, sure, but not gonna happen.
So, how do you work around that then?
How I work around it? Yeah, I mean, I try to do the dance. I mean, it's so frustrating sometimes. You come with a great actor and he wants reasonable amount of money, but his last film flopped a little bit, so they're like, oh, it's not worth anything, and all that. It happened to me with Guy Pearce, for example. He had like Guy Pearce, I mean, he showed me around in Amsterdam, and we had a blast, and it was after I did a Steven Seagal film, so it was just, a real actor. We just spent a whole day just talking about like the backstory of the character and all that. But then all of a sudden, he's like, he had a flop like that came out, and so all of a sudden his value just dropped. So the investors like, no, we don't want him anymore. I'm like, what? It's Guy Pearce, he's gonna go up again, and yeah, he did. Yeah. But so we try to work that out. Then COVID came and fucked it up. We had him, and we had Abigail Breslin, we had Daniel Webber, and everyone in this movie, and COVID came. So I mean, you just roll with the punches. Sometimes what are you gonna do? I always do the best I can, and it's always so frustrating that it never falls on I never fucked up. It's always someone else that pulls it off, and so like, what else can I do? So it's frustrating sometimes, but when it works, it's beautiful. So hang in there. But
yeah, so true. So you've been working a lot across action and different genres.
Yeah, I got really tired of a genre, so if I do a genre, I want to do like something completely different, because I did like a Game of Thrones film. Then I made the Steven Seagal, which is like a throwback action B movie tribute to the 80s, 90s. And then I did a documentary in Colombia finding a native tribe. And then I did a dinosaur movie. Then I did a bear movie. And now I did a comedy. So it's all over the place. And the only red thread really is that I try to take something familiar, like a classic look, and then mix it with something you haven't seen before, like something that's just me. So it becomes something new. Basically, I just make movies that I want to watch that doesn't exist.
Do you take away lessons? Do you learn from every movie you make?
If I learn from every experience?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you shoot a commercial or you just do a self-tape. As soon as you pick up a camera, you're gonna learn something, especially if you fuck up. So, I mean, don't be afraid to fail. That's the only thing I did in my first movies. I mean, I did my first feature film when I was 15. That was like a small theatrical release, and I became the youngest filmmaker in Scandinavia to release a film. But I mean, it sucked. But obviously, because I was 15 and I made a Western. But in the like opening day, I just looked over the audience looking at my shitty cowboy movie, and half of them were crying. And seeing that as 15 was like, man, I'm Spider-Man. I can make grown people cry. I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. But then so many other things about the movie was shit. But I could move an audience, so I knew I had something. But then I had to fix that mistake, all the 100 mistakes, and then I didn't do them on the next one. And they made new mistakes on the next one. It was like 2.5 hours long. Shit. And they shot it wrong and all that. So, okay, let's not do that again. So you just learn from every mistake. If you don't do a mistake, you don't learn as much. So don't be afraid of failure. And don't think you're going to make the perfect movie on the first attempt or even the 10th or ever. I mean, what's a perfect movie anyway? Has everyone ever done a perfect movie? If you ask the guy who made it, Godfather or Shawshank Redemption or whatever that's considered perfect movies, they definitely don't think they're perfect. And they're like, oh yeah, but this would have been good tweaking, or we didn't have time to do this properly. And so don't chase perfection.
Yeah, so look, no one is going to hand most filmmakers a budget for their first feature film. So I suppose, what do filmmakers need to learn early on in their career if they want to get stuff made?
That's still a problem today. I mean, I still don't get budgets. I mean, like for Metal of Dragon, I sold my house to make a dinosaur movie. I had some money left. That went to that one. And I made a fucking Netflix #1 movie. So no, but I always been like smart with money and very business savvy. So, I mean, I worked extra jobs and I just saved that. I worked as the reason I can make my first movie is because I worked as a child star from since I was 6, and I was paid doing that since I was 8. And I just saved that in a bank account. And when I was 15, 16, I used that money to make my movies. And if you're really smart, you start early and you learn how to make movies for very little money. Because if you're smart about it, and you don't, because when you're young, you don't need the salaries because everyone's like living at home with their mom and dad anyway. And so you just have to figure out, and you can probably borrow equipment from the school, or there's like these places that gladly help out kids, yeah. Which they helped out me. So just figure out, what do I really need to spend on, and just focus on getting good actors. You don't need millions. I still don't need millions, really. But now I have like kids and families and stuff, so it would be great not to just pour my own money into every fucking movie, because I'm 42, but I still do it. But because I love it so much. I mean, what else am I going to spend money on? A new car? No. A new movie. That's where the shit happens. So, I mean, work extra jobs, but don't sit around crying that no one's giving you the money. Because if you don't give yourself any money, why the fuck would someone else do it? I mean, hustle your family and just, come on, it's just $100. You can get pretty far $100 on your first movie. And just getting all of that. I tried also Kickstarter, but that's a lot of work. And at the end of the day, you become like a mailing service to everyone. So I don't know if you really make a profit at the end, because they take a slice, and then you're like, oh shit, I own all these Patreons, all these different shit that I have to make now. So I don't know if that one worked out for me, but yeah. I mean, just look at it as a business. Every movie is a different business. So if someone is kind to just give you like 10 grand, give that guy or girl 20% of the movie, and It may not do anything like financially, or it may, but at least they're like, oh, I bought into a business. I didn't just throw my money away. So I guess that's a good one. And if you want to make it, this is the biggest lesson of all. Don't ever quit on your movie, because it will not be as good as you hope it will be, especially not in the first cut, which is where most indie films get abandoned, because they're like, oh shit, and then they lose all faith. Newsflash, I hate all my first cuts. I feel nauseous looking at them. So does Scorsese. So you're in good company. But then you work on it, you get the sound mix, and you trim all this shit and what doesn't work. Maybe you do some reshoots. I don't know what's needed. And then all of a sudden you have a great film. But if you give up on your film, even if it's not as good, no one's ever going to work with you again. Why would they? Because they just poured their hearts and souls and worked their asses off to make this movie that just then ended up being on your hard drive and no one's going to see. And so at least finish it. And if you can't find distribution, just release it on YouTube. So at least like honor your peers that came there. And I call them my soldiers because they always go to war for me. I mean, I can't do it on my own. I need my soldiers behind me. I'm the general, but they need to do the battles there, and I send them there and blah, blah, blah. And they're never going to show up if you just, didn't turn out as good, so fuck it, I'm just gonna try to do something else. Why the fuck would they? So finish your film. It's not gonna be great, but just put it on YouTube so people can watch it, because maybe you may not like it, but someone else may. So and they're like, oh, at least he did something. So let's hope the next one will be better.
Yeah, and that's what this whole show is about. It's about filmmakers and not film talkers. Like, we have enough people who talk about making this film and that film, and it never happens. You're great on social media because you're constantly telling filmmakers, their first job is to get the movie finished, regardless.
Yeah, I think that's the best advice I can give someone. Really.
Yeah, I'd often see filmmakers that I've talked to over the years that, I'm making a movie, and then they get halfway through it, and people start dropping off for one reason or another, and the movie is never finished. And no one's ever going to finish your movie but yourself. So yeah, it's important to keep that going, isn't it? And that momentum then shows investors and producers that you're here for the long haul.
Definitely. If you want to get into movies to make money, get the fuck out, man. It's not gonna. I mean, I did movies for 16 years before I saw a dime. So, because that was my learning process. So don't get into acting, don't get into filmmaking to be a star or to make money. Do it because if people can't like talk you out of it, if you can't, I mean, I can't function if I don't make movies. That's what I was born to do. I get just depressed. If you're that like crazy and committed, do it. If you just think it's fun or whatever, just use it as a hobby and do it like every 10 years or whatever it can be, or do small parts in indies or whatever. But if you're really committed and want to make money, it's definitely, like you say, in the long haul. And I like what you said before, like film talk is, you got to make movies as well. Because, I mean, people spend so much time planning, which is good. Yeah, I like planning too. But it's like if you do a shopping itinerary, nothing in life goes as planned, right? If you do a shopping itinerary, you go to the store and you come home with a bunch of other stuff anyway. Because real life will always get, like, try to mess up your perfect plans. That always happens, even in the simplest things. Nothing in life becomes the way you planned it. Nothing, especially not on a movie set. So you can plan, you can protect yourself, which is you should, but then you got to be open to real life coming in. If you plan a performance, I'm going to do it like this, but when you're in there, maybe the other guy doesn't want to try to punch you because he has, then you got to react to it. And the same if you're behind the camera, you you spot something like this rain coming. Oh, can I change it so it works in rain? Like, can I fake rain in the other ones, or can we just have like rain coming on the windows, or just move it inside and move it outside?
Yeah. Being adaptable is the key. So, for your own process, how do you know when a project is ready to shoot?
When my investor says it's greenlit and the actor is booked. But I don't know if it's gonna happen until I set foot on the first day of shooting. Before that, it's just hypothetical. It's been like I've been booked. I had plane tickets done and everything, and then like, nah, sorry, this happened. This guy dropped out. Oh man, the investor's full of shit. There's a hurricane. Yeah, so I don't know if it's gonna happen until when I set my foot on the first day of shooting, nothing can stop me. I'll make it work. I mean, the Steven Seagal movie was like one of the worst shoots in the history of movies. I won't get into it because I mean, I'll destroy like 10 careers if I start talking too much about it. But Steven Seagal was not the only problem there. Yeah, there was, but the only thing holding it together was me, because I did all the planning. I had like 900 pages of colored storyboards that I spent like 5 months doing, and just roll with the punches every day. I was sitting like here crying with a beer, like, oh, this is the worst day of my life, which was supposed to be my dream. So everything will come and try to ruin your dream and your reality, but you just gotta keep fighting.
Do you think filmmaking gets harder at the bigger budget levels?
You get more pressure, but and the stars are more difficult than like sometimes they can always also be good. You make some money yourself for once, but no, I don't necessarily like the bigger crews that I had. Like, I'm used to having like 20-30 people in my crew, and they're like, I wouldn't say guerrilla filmmakers, because guerrillas are very like ineffective and just full of passion. But so I more have like SWAT teams. They can do a lot of different jobs and they're really effective. But when I went to Hollywood, I had 150 people in my crew. I was like, and it just ends up people standing around and looking on their phones. It's like, what are all these people actually doing? Do we need 5 people to hand out drinks? Do I need 3 people stalking me with walkie-talkies when I go to the bathroom, so everyone will know when the fuck I'm done in the bathroom? Like, why are you paying people? It was so weird. Like, we had the first day of shooting was up in a skyscraper, and it was renovated, so we had to have the toilets down. Like, I gotta go, man. And so like, oh, Titus is walking up set. Then I come down, like, oh, that's weird. It's like Born Identity. And it's like, I see Titus is walking down the stairs. So catches me there. Oh, Titus is walking into the bathroom. It's gonna be approximately 5 minutes. I'm like, why? What? And then I like flush, get out. Oh, Titus is coming back on set. Everybody get ready. Like, I think they can see me walking in like approximately ish time after I went to the toilet. Yeah, but apparently we need 3 guys being paid.
Hey, I have a good point. Tighter crews are more efficient and
they move quicker. You don't have to feed as many, so the budget drops down. So, and that's one of the issues of working in Hollywood, which I rather bring Hollywood home to me, because here I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I don't have 7 producers just, why are you doing this? Why are you spending on this? Can't you just cut this scene? It doesn't mean anything. Blah, blah, blah. At the same time as you're shooting something different. Yeah, so I'd rather bring people here, because in Hollywood, there's so many rules by the unions. Because, I mean, the unions started as a good idea, but now they're just making everything harder because they just post laws. And so what really they done is to divide the film crew into different sections that hates each other rather than working as one team. So I think the unions suck in the US. They just make everything so complicated. Probably started out as a good idea, but no, it's not. Not anymore. I don't support unions anymore.
Yeah, I'd be there with you on that. Like small, tight crews where everyone pulls their weight.
Yeah, because
Is
then
really
also
what.
you become like a family, and you're just
Yeah.
doing it together. You can have all your crew around the table after you're done, and you're like, "What a great shooting day!" And what was your And we pass it around like, "What was your favorite moment today?" And everyone gets to say theirs, and they're like, "Oh, I get to speak in front of everyone," and all that. So it's so much more beautiful, I think, when everyone feels like this is our movie. When it's so big.
So what genre then is your favorite to work in? Do you have one?
Oh man, I don't really have a favorite genre. I don't like mixing genres, but I mean, I got like 2 creature films coming up, and I actually doing a new western as well. And comedy was so much fun. I don't care about the genres really. I care about the story and the characters. Like then it becomes a genre, but it always starts with a story for me. So, and like I said, I get really tired of genres after a while. But I
Yeah.
wouldn't be the best guy of making like a crime thriller or a realistic drama, because I think people do that much better than me. Anything I try to do becomes epic anyway. So I think I try to make something small, like Metal Dragon, like it's just me and my boys, and then like blah, it just explodes and it becomes these huge scenes. And what if we can play this festival? What if we can have 100 furries in this scene? And like, yeah, so it always becomes a monster with me anyway. So why fight it?
Oh, that's cool, and that's where the fun is, isn't it? And we can obviously see you really, really enjoy doing stuff
like that.
Yeah, I
Jumping
mean, I
in the
love it.
moment.
It's so hard, but I love going on real occasions with real people. I hate sitting by the computer. I would never get into AI. Fuck AI. And all you guys that think you're filmmakers because you can type a prompt is like you're not a chef because you can order food. It's the same thing. Or a doctor because you can put on a band-aid. I mean, try to make a real movie with real people and see if you got the skills to break Hollywood, you fuckers. But, yeah, it's a whacking rage for you. But no, I love it. I just love the community. I love the challenges. I love going to very difficult places like snowy mountains out in the deep jungle, in the Australian desert. And I've been all around the world working in the most difficult places because I love it. I don't like studios. I don't like one movie in the studio. So, and I really didn't like it. I don't like the green screens and stuff. I want to be there for real. Because when you do it for real, you like smell it, and the actors don't have to act. I mean, when we did Fear of the Woods, which is a bear movie in the 90s, I mean, we were walking in 2 meters snow, and we were on this mountain. It was nothing that didn't convey to the actors that there's a bear out here, because there are bears out here. And we're like cold and everything. They didn't have to act. I mean, I threw one of the guys in a frozen river in like 6 in the morning, and he came up. He didn't have to act that he was cold and wet because he was pretty fucking cold and wet. So now that's I love it, man. That's the reason why I live, to make this shit and give it to the audience to enjoy, but mostly it's for myself. So, and that's a good thing also. Don't try to make movies for other people. Do them for yourself, because if you like them, you're not trying to guess what anyone else likes, but if you like them, there's a good reason, or at least a chance, that a lot of other people will like it too. So don't try to please everyone else, because then I think you're in slippery territory of just making something flat.
Yeah, you really have to be connected to the project, to get through it and really enjoy it. Yeah, so for filmmakers watching this today or next week or whenever, and they've been sitting on an idea for a long time. What's the first move they should make this week or even today?
I mean, if you have an idea in your head for too long, it becomes a monster. I mean, the same happens to me. If I have an idea that I really want to make, it haunts me until I finish it. So what I need, because I write all my own scripts. I love that I'm getting writing questions, because I never do. But I have a system that I put into place, which means I can bang out a script pretty quickly with good quality and on time. What I need a gun to my head. I need someone that's waiting on my script, because if I have all the jolly good time, I'm just waiting on the passion and the inspiration to arise. Great, but that rarely happens. You got to create the inspiration, and when does that happen? It's when you sit down and start writing. The hardest part of writing is starting to write. So what I do is I force myself to write at least 5 pages a day. I don't have to write more. If I do 10 pages this day, I feel inspired or whatever, I don't have to do 5 pages the next day. But and if I miss it, I have to do 10 the other day. So it becomes sort of a schedule thing, and I get up bright and early. I sit down and just try to do it. If I get stuck, I leave the computer, I go for a walk, and I just try the dialogue loud, or I talk to someone about it. And at the end of the day, me and my wife pour a glass of wine and we read it loud. Because when you hear it loud, not in your head, you see if it works and you tweak it there. Because then I already have it tweaked and done. So my first drafts are usually pretty good. So then you can deliver on time, and you have this other person that's just bugging you a little bit. Like, where's the script? I want to see the script, and I want to be passionate. Get someone that's passionate about it. So that's how I finish my scripts. And yeah.
So do you start your writing process with a treatment or an outline?
It's different every time, actually. It's very different every time. It depends on the complexity of the story. If it has to follow like a crime arc or something, then I wrote a thriller that I haven't done yet. I actually wrote that backwards. So I knew where I wanted to end up, and then just where I should place the breadcrumbs and the clues, or where I should like deviate from that and give them a false trade to follow and stuff. So I always see my audience. I want to play the audience, what I want the audience. That's what I figure out on the first film, like how to make them cry and stuff. So I know how to affect the audience to feel and do or cry or laugh and stuff the way I wanted to do. So I just try to play the audience with tricks and all that stuff. So that one I wrote backwards, but otherwise I just want the magic to happen. I just knew roughly where I want to end up, and then just see where the magic takes me while I'm ending up in this weird zone. Sometimes I'm sitting in a coffee and I make a playlist of what I want the film to feel like and sound like. So then I just end up in this trance, which is like the most beautiful thing when you end up in the bubble. And I'm sitting there in a coffee shop crying, and people think I'm a weirdo, which I probably am, but who cares? So yeah, that's no. I love writing. I think it's people around me get like 20% when I'm writing. I'm just on autopilot because I'm constantly in my head thinking about the story, and I have to be, because I want to bang out scripts pretty quickly, because I don't want to stay in this world for too long, because I want to be a good dad and a good husband and a good friend and all that. But I also, if I take a break, it's really hard to get back in that space. So that's what I want to like bulk down. And the same with shooting. I just want to live there, do it. I don't want to shoot one scene every a week or a month. I just want to be in there and just finish it.
So when you're on set, I often hear a lot of first-time and new directors, that they have to use this lens and this camera. We need this piece of equipment. And do you leave all that to your HRDs, your heads of department, or do you get right in there and help sort that stuff out?
Both. I have a finger in everything, like from the costume to anything. And I also learned over 16 years how to do every job on a film set, so I can be the best leader. So I know how to apply makeup. I'm not the best at it. I know how to do VFX. I'm not the best of performing it, but I know how it works. I know how to operate a camera. I've been shooting with cameras. I know which lens does what, sort of. I don't know what they call, but I like a wide one, a close one, like a macro. So I say that, not the. I want to use the 35 point blah blah blah. I don't know that shit. I don't even know what the name of my phone is, but I just describe it. And the sound as well. Like I want microphones, so I know every single job there is on a film set and acting as well. So I can be the best leader, and people can't fool me. Because otherwise, like VFX guys, oh, it's gonna take this time to rotoscope. Like, no, it doesn't. Like, oh, sorry. so, and I know what it costs and everything. So I can be the best leader. I can follow the budget, and they can't trick me. So that's a great advice too, especially if you're a director. I mean, learn about acting. Otherwise, how are you gonna coach an actor if you don't know what it takes to be an actor? So no, I get my hands in everything, but I also don't want to be like the dictator about everything. So I hire the people to do what I want, but make maybe a little bit better even. So with actors, for example, I don't give them too much in the beginning. I sort of block it. I want you sort of to be like this and there. Then I leave it because I want to see what they thought of back home. Like when they did all this work. Because if I go, I want you to feel this and I want you to say it like this before they do anything, then they will drop that because they want to please me. And so I want to see what they got to see what they figured out, what their character would do and all that. Sometimes it's better than what I thought. Sometimes you just have to tweak it, and sometimes it's way off, and then I just have to do it. But when I see it, I know what I got to work with. And then you tweak it, and then you change. You can change it completely, or like you get this new idea that you would never have thought of if you just told them where to stand, exactly what to say, and yada yada yada. So I want it to be a very open and creative place, but usually it ends up being the way I thought of anyway. But sometimes it goes in completely different directions.
Cool, yeah. So one piece of advice for filmmakers that are starting in the industry, what would it be?
That's a filmmaker that's waiting to get into. Starting. Do your own stuff. Because just waiting around for the first gig or someone's going to hand you the keys to anything doesn't happen. You have to get your first project going. If you're a writer, you're not going to sell your script. That's a teeny weeny chance that that's going to happen. Produce it yourself. Raise a bit of money so you can team up with someone that's passionate about becoming a director. He doesn't get paid or she doesn't get paid, but so team up, make your own projects together with someone. Because if you've never done anything, why would someone bet on you? Why would someone buy something from you? It's completely unrealistic. It happens, but it's so rare. I don't know anyone that's happened to, and I know quite a lot of people. So the only time stuff happens is if you do it yourself. Don't kid yourself thinking that's anyone's going to come in and rescue you. Even and actors and filmmakers like, oh, only if I had an agent or a manager. I have the best manager on the planet, like Zero Gravity Management. They're like one of the top dogs, and they produce Ozark and all the Liam Neeson and Gerard Butler movies and all that. I still have to do the work myself. They come in and they support me a little bit. I had agents that I fired because they didn't do anything for me. Like, that's not the answer. They watch Entourage and thinks everyone will be like Ari Gold, but that's completely untrue. They don't work like that. You still have to. Maybe on the top dogs it works, but one of my friends was talking to Arnold, and he was like the guy who did the Kung Fury, David Sandberg, that's also Swedish, and he was like to Arnold like, oh man, I'm thinking about changing my agent. He's like, what agent? You don't. I only one movie. I got from an agent. The rest I just did myself. So, I mean, if Arnold, the biggest actor on the planet at a point, didn't really have use for an agent, why would you? So you still have to do it yourself.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. So, one last question. Short films or features in today's industry? Which is more important, do you think?
I mean, I think it's a lot of bullshit going around that like the attention spans are shrinking and all that. If that were true, this would be the golden age of short films, which it isn't. I mean, maybe I wouldn't recommend you doing short films really if you want people to see it, because no one cares about short films. If you have a short film idea, let the idea be the boss of that. If you want to try if you can make something, sure, do a short. And if you want to get a bigger budget feature going, do a pilot, do like a fake trailer, at least shoot something. Don't use AI because it doesn't prove you can do anything. No one will give you money for an AI shit. So to show that you can shoot, it can be like 3 cool setups and then texts in between, but then you've done something you can show to maybe raise some money. But I would go all in doing your first feature film, and you don't have to have a lot of money. You can do it with your phone and just invest in good sound. But sound doesn't have to be that expensive either, because the equipment is so good. I mean, you can do a theatrical movie with a phone and some plugins for sound. But you can't sell a film that has bad sound. I mean, you can sell a film that's poorly shot because that could be a style, but bad sound is always just going to be bad sound, and no one will buy it. So do your feature film. I mean, I did a short film that I spent a year with ILM that did Jurassic Park, making the dinosaur for it. That has and that has like 19,000 views or 21,000 views or something. So totally not worth it. But I used that as a pilot to get the feature going. But if that would be just a standalone short, it would be just a big waste of time and money. So if you want to get somewhere, do a feature film if you want to get noticed, because no one cares about shorts. Sure, you can get into some festivals, which can be good starting out, but if you've been in the industry for a while, just focus on features. But it's good to get a short into festivals and attend the festivals if you want to get into the industry, because that's where you can find like-minded people that are on the same level as you, because that's where you get shit made, when you're like finding the people that connect to this story, or maybe you join their project, and that's the beauty where it happens. So yeah, it's really where you are in your career. It's hard to start with a feature, but I did. So,
Oh, that's it. Titus, you're certainly a filmmaker and not a film talker. So
I talk a lot of shit, man. I bet you're really sick of this Swedish voice right now, but I made it anyway, bitches.
lovely, lovely. Right. Titus, thanks for coming on the show. Where can people find you on social media?
Well, I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, and that's where I hang. That's really good advice for people. Don't treat it as Facebook. You can have it as a really good business platform. I made millions on LinkedIn through like endorsementships and money for my films and stuff. So if you're smart, you can use LinkedIn really smartly. Otherwise, just IMDb, baby.
Cool, cool. Titus, thanks for your time. And we'll be back soon with another episode.
And you watching this, stop watching, scrolling, get out, film something now.